Hello, Miss Fowler. How have you been?
Aretha needs water.
Sparkling or still?
Whatever. She drinks out of the toilet.
It's Sunday Morning on CBS. And here again is Jane Pauley.
With roles in movies such as The Women, Annette Bening has never failed to demonstrate her range and versatility. Talent's now on full view in her Tony-nominated role on Broadway. With Serena Altschul, we pay her a visit.
For 32 years,
Welcome. I'm Carolyn Burnham.
movie star Annette Bening
What's your pitch?
The long end, big con.
has always stood out.
The way you were staring at me, I thought you were going to ask me for something a little more exciting.
Like what?
Use your imagination.
I'm using it.
Let me know when you're finished.
Even earning 4 Oscar nominations along the way.
I've been asked to do really interesting characters in the midst of great stories with great writing.
I never know when you're acting.
I'm not acting. I'm near to having a breakdown. I feel as though my life has come to an end.
All right.
And great writing usually involves flaws.
Just be honest with me, okay? Don't make me feel crazier than I feel right now.
It's not about playing people who are strong. It's about trying to find the humanity in people.
I woke up, it's so funny.
And she's at it again.
It's like the roaring of his engine.
This time on Broadway in Arthur Miller's All My Sons.
Tree snapped right in front of me.
This is Sunday morning. It's now sunny and beautiful.
For Bening, being on stage has been a kind of homecoming.
My family's from the Midwest. I was born in Kansas, and of course many of my relatives in Iowa had this very backyard.
You're asking me again.
I'm asking.
Both she and the play have been nominated for Tonys this year.
You've got a family. I'm simply telling you, I have no strength to think anymore.
Set in 1947, All My Sons centers on the Keller family, whose 2 sons were in World War II.
She's Larry's girl.
And I'm his brother.
After one, a pilot, was reported missing, their mom, Kate, can't accept even the possibility he could be dead.
Nothing! You have nothing to say. Now I say, he's coming back.
How do you feel about Kate?
I love her.
You do.
I love her. That's the pleasure we have as actors. We get to love the characters because we don't have to judge them.
Bening says this is a role she always wanted to play, in part because the story mirrors events in her own history.
My mom's family had 2 sons that went to the war, my Uncle Russell and my Uncle Roy. They both enlisted after Pearl Harbor. They were both in their late 20s.
Roy became a Marine, Russell a pilot.
His plane crashed from mechanical failure. The body of his co-pilot was found, but my Uncle Russell's body was never found. So there's a lot of personal connection in my family to the world that Arthur Miller was writing about.
And she says she draws on that connection each night.
Never let him go
No,
till I
I'll
do
never
it.
let him go, and you'll never let him go.
I've let him go. I've let him go.
Do you get a certain catharsis when you relive what Kate goes through every night? Are you working through that loss?
I have a theory that that maybe if you're working in the right way, it is a cathartic experience. So afterwards, you feel unburdened.
Her first and only other time on Broadway was in 1987's Coastal Disturbances. She earned a Tony nomination then, too, and soon Hollywood beckoned.
It touched me!
It's been touching you for 12 years. You never freaked.
Not you!
What?
That thing!
Seems like a steady flow of great opportunities and good choices and not the kind of classic bumpy road to Hollywood.
I want Jerichoeur to discover on his wedding night that he didn't get there first.
I was lucky, and I also didn't start doing movies till I was almost 30. So I had done, I wasn't a kid.
In 1990, she met actor and heartthrob Warren Beatty on the set of the film Bugsy.
I brought nothing but trouble to every man who ever went on the line for me.
Good. That's what they get for trying to steal my girl.
They married in 1992.
That's a long time. How does one make a marriage work for 27 years?
Well, I think mutual respect and that we very much want the same things. He's very tolerant of living with me.
And you of him, right?
Yes, I would say yes.
There were skeptics in the beginning. What do you say to them?
Oh, what can I say? I don't know. We've been married 27 years. We have 4 children. I think that sort of says it all, doesn't it?
It does.
And she says together, they created the life she dreamed of.
I always wanted children from when I was really little, like a little girl, I don't know, 7 or 8 years old. And my children, who are now adults, are so interesting, and they're in the stage of their lives where they're getting their education, and they're working, and they're falling in love. And it's also a very cool stage of parenting that I'm really enjoying.
Bening prefers to let her kids speak for themselves. For instance, her oldest, Stephen, is outspoken as an advocate in the transgender community.
What can you say to other moms wanting to help their children find themselves and be exactly what they feel they are?
Well, it's what we all want to do as parents, and I think that the tricky part is that your kids have to go through difficulties and pain. And I didn't even know it, but there was a part of me that thought if I got it right, I could maybe parent my kids in such a way that they wouldn't have to experience pain.
Right.
Which is, of course, ridiculous.
Them. Right. You want to protect
shield
them from everything.
Right. But what you learn is how powerless you are.
Right.
You have a lot that you can do to help and love your kids. And of course, you do anything you can to support them and love them. But they have to go through what they're going to go through, and they have a right to do that. Right. And there's a dignity to that.
As her children move on, she says, for Beatty and herself, it seems like old times.
My husband and I now, we have more time just for each other and for work, and I can come and do this play in New York, so.
Has he come yet?
Yes. Yeah, no, he's been incredibly supportive and enthusiastic.
And he's not the only one.
Because if he's dead, your father killed him. Do you understand me now?
Critics, audiences, and of course the Tony Awards nominating committee are raving about Annette Bening in All My Sons.
We don't talk about it.
We don't.
No, we don't talk about it. We just focus on the work.